I grew up in Tottenham, North London, to a West Indian father that was British but West Indian, Jamaican, and a mother, a white mother that was half Irish, Irish granddad. So I grew up in, like I said, in Tottenham. Our neighbour was Bernie Grant, the first black MP actually, um, many years ago. So when I was born, Bernie Grant was supposed to have took my mum to the hospital while she was in labour. So it's like kind of funny stories, to be honest. Um, when I was born, there was a story about me when I was young, and I kind of didn't understand it because I was too young. But the story was going as basically because my birthday is New Year's Day, so the first baby born on New Year's Day would have been in the paper. The parent would have got a little bit of money, and obviously so and so, like kind of thing. That's just basically just a baby born first New Year's Day, 1980, gonna make the paper. I didn't make the paper because I was a black baby. And that's obviously because we had the Bernie Grant as the MP, that conversation, I used to hear it, but I didn't even know what it was about. And talking about racism and stuff like that, basically, because I was the first baby born on New Year's Day around that area. My dad, was an odd job man, so and stuff like that. Tyler used to sell I remember light shades, curtains, blanket, duvets, door to door type of thing, kind of thing, yeah. So when he used to sell that, and my mum used to be at home. We used to live in this little flats, Tottenham High Road. Actually, on the High Road, we used to live, top of the flats. Growing up, I used to like my films and stuff like that. So I liked a lot of films. I used to watch like your sing-alongs and that kind of thing. I remember, I remember I used to watch a film and I just want to be that character in the film. So Superman was like my favourite film at the time. Superman was big at that time. I even had the Superman duvet, Superman light shade. I had everything in my room Superman. I decided and I thought I was Superman, so I opened the window and I tried to fly outside. I didn't fly with course, I flew, but I flew past my auntie's window and landed in the grass with a broken leg. I was a young kid. The neighbours obviously ran upstairs and my auntie, I told my mum that I was on downstairs. Obviously, they thought I was going to be dead. I was in hospital. There's a photograph of me in hospital with a cast on my leg. And my auntie, funny enough, she said, it was the first time I've ever seen a black Superman. So basically, she saw keys fly past the window and she made a joke about it. It's the first time she's ever seen a black Superman. My sister was born 2 years later, so my sister's 2 years younger than me. So she was born. My dad, he used to have like a purple can on top of the radiator or wherever that cabinet there was in the house. And I used to look at this purple can and didn't know what was in it. Now I know it was tenants, but at the time I didn't know what was in it. So I used to always look at it, and me and my sister. And I said, oh, let me taste it. I tasted it, I spat it out. I thought, whoa, this is nasty, that drink. I was a young kid. But I used to hear a lot of noise in my front room and in certain bedrooms. I used to hear a lot of noise, like loud shouting, smash plates, that kind of thing. But I didn't really know what was happening. We had a little bus, like a double-decker bus opposite our house. It was like a play scheme. So we used to go there, play, have fun. Bernie Grant's kids was growing up on the same estate and that kind of thing. So things were fairly okay as a youngster at that time of my life. However, like because of my dad's rage and shouting and all that kind of stuff, we had to like run away and move different houses. So first of all, we moved to another area. I remember when we moved to another area, my mum said I can get a dog. So I was really happy, like I can get a dog, I can get a dog. So we went back to see Dogs Home to get a dog. I decided to get a greyhound. I thought, wow, this dog looks wicked, it looks fast. So I got this dog, because I remember my granddad liked dogs, greyhounds and stuff. So I got this dog, bring it home. My dad's like, you're not having this dog, this dog's not coming in our house. And basically, I had to give the dog to my auntie. So I was really upset, to be honest. And like I said, because of the arguments and stuff, my mum used to have to go to safe houses. So we used to go to these houses and stay there with no TVs. But I didn't really know much. I was kind of clueless to it. But because of that, I kept moving different schools. So I'll go different schools. And because I've gone to these different schools, to fit in, I used to fight and like in the playground, not thinking that tough, just fight, just to basically belong and just be part of kind of thing. That happened so many times that I was just used to it, to the point my mum was to accept my dad back in her life. Once again, the same thing will happen. When she got enough of him, she finally kicked him out. And she kicked my dad out. And obviously, my mum never used to smoke or drink beforehand. But because when she kicked my dad out, she started to drink, smoke, that kind of thing. Have quite a few boyfriends. To visit my house. I think my mum was trying to escape like the trauma she got caused by my dad. So like, and obviously my mum got my dad when she was very young, when she was like 15, 16, whatever, had me at a young age. So she's obviously quite young anyway when she left my dad. So she's kind of like enjoying life in a sense, but with the wrong choices of people. However, she got with a fella called Joseph, and he became like my idol. He became my I loved him to max, like my stepdad. I loved him. Like, he was a barber, he was an old tradesman, he used to do carpentry, everything. He looked Eddie Murphy, he was a handsome guy, he was funny, he was West Indian, but he talked with like a London accent. When he got angry, a West Indian accent would come out. He showed me how to chop the grass with a machete. He showed me how to cut hair. He showed me a lot of things. He showed me how to be a man, how to iron, all these things that my dad never ever showed me. So I adored him to the maximum. I was a bit of a class clown, but your average kid does the same thing I did. So I never had nothing like bad, but just this kid that was a little bit naughty. Then I went to another secondary school that was in Enfield. That was quite good. It was a good secondary school. A lot of my friends from my primary school went to the same school. And although it was up the road, we all went to that school. So I kind of knew people that was there. I remember going home with my friend once. Funny thing was, actually, when I was about 9, I used to have like adventures. And me and my friend, Edward, we decided to ride our bikes from Tottenham to Southend, the little BMXs, on the carriageway, and then we ride to Southend. And like, obviously got caught for it, we got in trouble. We got there, but we got caught on the way back by the police and stuff and got in trouble for it. But it was just like adventurous. We were kind of like funny, adventurous children. And like I said, my friend was my really good friend. We were coming back from school and he said, "Why is that black man running the road?" I was like, "What are you on about?" Because we just went to the joke shop and bought these fake cigarettes. Like, you blow them and smoke come out. And I said, "What are you on about?" It was my step running, but Joe was running, ready to hit me. Because I remember him saying to me, "If I catch you smoking, I'll make your batty smoke." When you mean you make my bum smoke with a hit. I was like, "Oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake." And he's like, "Oh," and he grabbed it off my hand and he's laughed. He said, "You're lucky." I said, "Whoa." My friend said, "Right, he's real, innit?" I said, "Yeah." So anyway, like I said, he was my idol. Basically, I looked up to him a lot. Another time, coming home from school, walking, I saw Joe crying. And I was like, "What's the matter?" He said, "Me and your mum's broke up, but me and you haven't. Me, you and Nicola haven't broke up." I didn't really get it, but that's what he said to me. However, I was heartbroken, but he said, "Jason, no matter what, you can still come to my house." Because his family became like my family. I used to go chill with them, make jokes with them, go to the houses. So he said, "You can still come to my house no matter what." My mum decided to move from Tottenham to a lovely part of the area she thought at the time, Wood Green. She didn't know it was full of gangs, full of knives, full of guns. She didn't know this. So the first time I moved there, I went to the fun fair and one kid said to me, "Don't wear them trainers, Jason." I said, "Why? You get stabbed and shot around there for that." I said, "What? For trainers?" He said, "Yeah, because there's a gang that wears that type of trainers." I thought he's lying. So I wore them. I went to the fun fair and I almost got like, didn't get stabbed, but someone put a knife to me, tried to rob me, but it didn't happen because Joe told me to be tough. He said, "If someone punches you, punch a bit harder. Never be a bully, but just look after yourself." So I used to be able to look after myself. Anyway, basically, I used to go to Joe's house quite regularly. And I said to my mum, "I want to change schools." And the idea of me changing schools was, so I spent more time with Joe. So I spent more time going to Joe's house, spending time with Joe, enjoying the company, learning how to cut hair. I'm a barber, it's one of my trades. So learning to cut hair, having fun at his house. I remember one day he said to me, he's going to buy me a pair of trainers. So I said, okay, thank you very much. And obviously, my mum had another boyfriend. He was a cool guy, but Joe was my main, my looked up to. So I went to the house to check what happened with him. And basically, my cousin, it's not my real cousin, but I say it's my cousin, opened the door, he said, Joe's dead. And I heard Joe is dead. So Joe basically fell down the stairs, got a brain hemorrhage and died. For me, that was the dramatic part of my life that kind of turned me from being that kind of good, kind of very good, naughty type of kid to basically not giving a damn, not caring, not caring about anything in society. As angry as angry, I think on that day was the first time I picked up a substance. At the time, crack cocaine was called Yang. It was called Yayo. There's a rapper called Tony Yayo, but basically it was called Yang. And that was the first substance I took, in a pub because I was angry. I was angry and upset. And I remember this guy said, "Oh yeah, smoke this with us." Got a can. Told me, "Oh, burn this cigarette." And I was thinking, what's he doing? He said, "Burn your cigarette." I was only like 13 or 12 or something like that. "Burn your cigarette." "What do you want to put?" And he put the ash on the can, made holes with the little top of the can. And away he went, he smoked it, I remember that walking up all night with him, a close friend, another friend of mine, around the streets all night, like doing that yen basically. And you used to have to go to a window. There was a calf. It's in the book actually. But there was a calf in Dalston. You whistle, they'll come to the window, they'll look over, they'll come down and give you your substances. And basically, I was just a hurt young kid, basically hurt, didn't know where to escape, how to talk to somebody, but it made me angry. I joined a gang, I became gang culture, that kind of stuff. I went to school, got suspended, expelled all the time. I just became not caring, to the point of like hanging around people that were kids that were quite dangerous. And not even caring someone's got a gun in their pocket, walking around doing this, doing that. It just became part of my life, because I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was going in life. And anybody that was kind of like bad, kind of gang cultured, I could look up to them. So if they was older than me, and the big chains, big gold watches, and nice cars, I used to look at that. I said, I want that. And the only way to get that at that time of my life was to commit crimes. There were times when it was fun taking stuff, That's what I believed at the time. However, like years passed and I was still taking it, but I wasn't taking it regularly. And I knew they were, but because like I said, I wanted that glamour life. So I thought, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it to these people. And I started selling it and making a bit of money and stuff like that. And but I remember a couple of times going around the house of my friend's house with his stepdad and basically smoking it all my profit with him. And then nothing doing, and then thinking, oh, how am I gonna get back with that kind of thing? And I was a barber, so I kind of like, at first I used to work, earn money, buy it, that kind of thing, and basically afford it by working, doing the right way to afford it, kind of thing. I'm not knowing that this substance can become problematic. And I used to go to ID parades, and the ID parades you used to get paid from. So you go ID parade, they put a bit of makeup on you, you look like someone else, and basically you get paid for it. So when I used to go to these ID parades, a lot of the guys that were going to the phone box afterwards and phoning the dealer. But I didn't know who they were phoning at the start. I said, "What are you doing? Why are they all at the phone box at the same time? Why are they phoning the dealer?" Bing, bing. Again, my head said, "Oh yeah, sell this stuff to them." So anyway, I was selling it to them. I met the dealer. I said, "How much do you normally sell them?" He told me, because he was getting tired of getting called out. He said, "You do it to them." So I started doing that at first. But I remember when I was there, I used to smoke it on a can and a spliff, and when I used to smoke it, you never used to really want more of it, yeah? Anyway, they bring out this little mini Martell bottle. I said, what are you doing that? And then basically started making a crack pipe. I said, I'll try it and this is much better. As soon as I tried it on that pipe, it was a different type of buzz, a different type of high. And I started chasing a bit more. I thought, wow. At the time, in Tottenham, they had a lot of crack houses. The houses where people go and use substances, like kind of dangerous ones, like really dangerous ones. So I used to go there and used to smoke a little bit. And then one day I smoked and I thought, well, I want more. No, I don't want more. But my head was telling me I want more. And I couldn't, I was thinking, oh, this is a bit weird. Anyway, I went outside and then the same thing. I don't know whether it's psychosis, I don't know, but my head was telling me more, you want more. And I personally didn't want more within. But I went and robbed some people for more. Like I got some people, I took their money off them, I went off, I used. And I was like, wow, what just happened there? Like, what happened? Like, that's weird. And I felt weird about it. Like, what the hell just happened? Like, I was like an out of body experience going to do a crime for a substance, like, and then that's when I knew something's wrong here. Anyway, because I kept doing this stuff, that type of stuff, I went to prison. I was like, what am I sitting in prison? I'm sitting in prison now for a crime I've committed for a substance. And I was thinking, this is weird. But I didn't even know it was a problem still. So it went like a cycle. I kept going in, out. Till the one day I sat down, I looked around, I saw all of my classmates in this cell rapping, because we were quite young, in prison. I thought, I've got a problem here. I've got a problem with substances, me. I knew something was wrong, something was up, but I didn't know where to go, how to change. But I knew something was a problem or something like that. But the problem was, because of the word problem, I liked that problem. I liked smoking drugs. I liked getting released, getting my discharge grant, automatically walking to the dealer's house. I knew where his house was. Smoking, piping, doing the same thing over and over again. Like, until the point, like, you don't notice until the years pass. The next thing is 1 month, and the next thing is 4 or 5 years down the line. You're still back in prison. You're seeing someone walking around the prison, and he's walking with a limp. And I said, what's the matter with you? He said, I'm getting old, mate. Getting old just like you. I thought, what? And he said, everybody gets old in here, but everything that stays the same. We get old, all the surroundings stay the same. And I went back in my cell, and I looked around, and I went to get dinner, and I saw the same rib steak, yeah? It's so funny. It's a rib steak, yeah? That rib steak has been in the system, officer told me, for 40 years. That same rib steak every Saturday. I was like, what? If nothing changes, the only thing changes, everybody gets old. Everything you have in prison is the same. It's been around in circles. So I went back into my cell. I looked in the mirror, saw a little grey hair. Oh my God, what the hell? I looked out the window, same courtyard I've been looking at for many years. And I just felt tired. I just felt tired of it, man. Like, I just basically, I wanted out of it. I wanted out of this, like, like I said, basically when I was in a cell rapping with my friends and stuff, and I looked around, it's all my classmates from school, all in prison, every single one of them, all ghetto gangster little boys, like all of them. And I'm thinking, well, I was going into prison because I got addicted to drugs, yeah. And they were drug dealers with big money, big chains, big car dealers. I used to still hang around with them, but obviously I was a substance misuse, and they were upset for me. They used to say, yo man, Jane, what's happening, man? You're going downhill. Yeah, you want some trainers? They used to give me stuff and that, yeah. And I was cutting people's hair, barbers. So I was the barber, cut people's hair, and they said, Jay, you don't need to be in there, man. You're a good guy, you know. Like, you don't need to be in here. The officers, you're a good guy, bro. You don't need to be in here, man. But I didn't know who to talk to, where to go. I didn't have no inner motivation because every time I got released, I'll do the same thing over again. But like I said, I was very tired and I was very annoyed with myself for being able to be in the system for this long. By that time, substances wasn't just crack; it became everything. To the point of what do you call it? Subutex, where people they take it, they spit it out, and it's called backwash, and then dry it and sell it to you, and you sniff it and you get high. I was taking heroin by this time. I didn't get addicted to heroin, but I was taking heroin. I started to like heroin. It could have got me addicted. And then what happened was I got in the morning in prison, you get 6 a.m. Door opens up, a piss test, they call it, a urine sample. It's James come downstairs. Oh my god, man. I had this cellmate that had everything. He was like a disco when it comes to drugs. He had everything. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get sanctioned for all this stuff. But guess what? I was thinking, I'm happy this has happened, man. Maybe I can get honest about what's happening with me, man. So basically, he come back with everything in it, basically like a chart of like a rainbow of drugs in my system. And the officers didn't know because I didn't look the part. I didn't look like your average crack user, your average heroin user, your average person that takes all this stuff. They didn't know that. They just knew that I was coming back and forth because, like I said, I used to hang around with all the words with the big watches, all that kind of stuff. I said, James, man, what's up, man? What's happening with you? I said, Gov, man, I got a problem, man. I got a problem. And that come my mouth. Like, I've got a problem, man. And I was in tears, man. Because I realised I've been in the system for that long that I need some help, man. And he said, James, I'm not gonna give you no losses. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna help you change your life. I'm gonna send you to a prison that there's hardly any drugs there, but there's a lot of courses, and it can change your life forever. I thought, what? He said, yeah, I will. And off I went to Edmondsville. I became very popular in that prison in the sense of on a positive note, not negative note, because I was a barber and they had a barber course there, and they wanted the head barber to teach the other inmates how to cut hair. They're the teacher there anyway, but just wanted the head barber to teach other inmates how to cut hair, and that's what I'd done, you know. And I found a passion for being able to teach someone, being able to communicate properly with them, not an intimidating factor. I was liked by lots of people, and I remember I was in an exercise yard, walking around, and I had a mate called Cesar. He's Greek geezer. He's funny and massive. He's like, but he was a take drug taker, but he would never know because he's so massive. And this woman walked over, in a little lanyard, walked over. Cesar, can I speak to you? He said, yeah. He said, you want to go rehab? He said, nah, give that to Jason. So like, what? I ain't fucking Amy Winehouse, man. And at the time, we had Amy Winehouse, his husband, in the prison. We had Boy George was in the prison. We had the Blake Civil, all the people in the prison at the same time. They called it Celebrity Island. And I thought, you have to be famous to go to rehab. He said, no, you get funding and that. I said, what? You get funding? He said, yeah, go and talk to them. I said, what are you on about? They're called carrots. I was like, I ain't a vegetarian, bro. He said, you idiot, it's carrots. He's laughing. He said, it's not for vegetarians, man. Carrots is for drug addicts and that. I said, I ain't a drug addict though. I said, bro, you're a drug addict, man. And then off I went to these people, and they put me in little courses at the start because they want to know if you're engaging, like if you're willing to engage, which I was. I done crack awareness. It's not the greatest of programs, but it still makes you aware. The word awareness is in it, so it makes you aware of it. And I started to do all this stuff, and then basically I just got that inner motivation to want something different. Where can I go with this? What can I do with this? You know, am I going to get released into the same thing again? And that was my fear, though. You know, my biggest fear was because every time I got released, I'll go back to the same thing over and over again. It was that cycle I couldn't break. I remember in the prison we had a rap what was it, like a poetry and a rap assembly where visitors could come in and watch us perform, basically performance. And we all wrote our own songs, and we all went to the church every week, like 3 times a week, and practicing and rehearsing. And it was such a brilliant time. Like, I met some really nice people in that program, yeah. And I thought, wow, like, this is different, because acting was one of my main things I wanted to do as a kid. I was very good at it. It's the only class in school I could escape in. Like, I didn't have to be this gang kind of culture. I didn't have to be a drug addict. I could just be me, yeah. And acting was one of my main things. And we wrote our songs. And when I listened back to it, it's all about recovery. Like, the song's not about drug addiction like your average person might work about big chains, gold chains, and that. It was about recovery, and I was like, what? I didn't know what recovery was. Didn't know what, but I was just some hope was in me to put these words to a paper and come out with lyrics, and which were quite good, and be rapped about recovery and change. So that was where the motivation came from. And this woman came to me. She said, "Jason, guess what?" I said, "What?" "We've got you funding. You're gonna go rehab in 2 weeks." I was like, "What?" Whoa. I was like, no, I got scared. Like, oh man, what's rehab? I don't know what rehab is. I don't need a rehab. Like, rehab is for these people that are like fucked. I didn't believe I was fucked, but I was fucked. Sorry for my language, but yeah, I was in the gutter. Addiction took me that low. It proper destroyed me. Like, proper destroyed me. Took morals, took my confidence, everything. But I still didn't believe it was doing that to me. Now I looked in the mirror, I probably was like 9 or 8 stone, and I'm still thinking I'm big old boy, because this was strong, but this wasn't no more. And off I went to rehab. I went to rehab on a jail swerve, to be honest. Like, because you get out early. So I had a tag in a rehab. I was like, right, they're tagging in rehab. Yeah, they're tagging in rehab. But that was the first joy of my life, like proper like escapism to realise, putting pen to paper. The first thing you got to do, you got to write a life story. And I broke down, like, the first time I spoke about Joe, because I never told no one about him. Like, I kept it bottled up. I never like told no one ever about Joe at all. Everybody used to ask me, why? How comes you're a barber? Like, how did you learn how to cut hair? But I never told him. It was him that taught me. Because I was so hurt, that I was so angry with him for leaving this earth and like leaving me. But why should I be angry with him? It wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that basically, by opening up, it motivated me to like want this change. Want this thing. But the problem was, I still had an attitude problem. Attitude was still in my pocket. Still had a chip on my shoulder. You could say the wrong things to me and I want to fire you. And you can't be fighting people in rehab or in society in itself. And someone used to say something to me, and I'll raise them up, I'll kick the door up. Like, I was that like teenager kind of delinquent kind of like kid, that I wasn't a kid, I was an adult. But I was a kid inside, because I went to prison when I was very young, and they say once you start your addiction, you stay at that age, like. So I was very like unintelligent in that world. So I was kick doors, I was slam things, I wake up in the morning, I was angry, all that kind of stuff. And because of that, but I still had a nice inner, but my outer shell wasn't the greatest. And I got kicked out of rehab for aggressive behaviour. And off I went back to crack again, because that's all I knew. But that was the last time, because I had a mental breakdown, a proper like mental breakdown. I was crying, smoking on my knees, crying, because I knew there was another way. I knew there's another way. And what do I know best? To end up in prison, and I ended up in prison from there, basically. When I went back to prison, I was walking around the exercise yard. I think now you can go all different directions, but back in the days, there's only one direction you can go. I think anti-clockwise. So you can only go one direction. So you're walking with the people that were addicts, because that's who I knew to talk to. And the word addict, like, I'll say, "Are you an addict?" "What are you on about, man?" "I'm not an addict, man." Like, it's my mates like, "Bro, you're ruining my bruz, man, because everything you talk about is recovery, bro." What the hell? Because my conversation wasn't the same no more. So when I was walking with my friends that I thought were my friends, associates say, they were like always telling me like, "Bro, you changed, man. You're not the same no more." Because all I could talk about was recovery. And I found the rooms in prison, because you have like the anonymous rooms you can go to and meet people, that kind of thing. So when I went back to prison, I was back in prison with a massive healthy sentence. Yeah, I knew I could change. I knew that I could be better. I knew from that, from when I went back on the first week. It's weird. It's weird that I knew that, but I knew there was this ain't me no more. So basically, within I think 2 weeks, this woman's come to me and she said, "Jason, you know what? Like, you're either gonna die, taking, or you're gonna die outside, whatever. Like, like, you remind me of my brother. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, look at this poster. And I look, and there's this guy, like, in an office, basically with pen to paper, and just basically with a postcard saying stuff, and another postcard next to it. I said, what do you mean we'll find you a brother? Like, your brother's got a job. Yeah, your brother used to be sat, like, where you are, in front of someone else. I said, what? I said, now, guess what he does? I said, what's he do? He's a manager of a rehab. I said, huh? She says, yeah, yeah. But yeah, you had to go to a program that will change your life to forever. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, it's an 18-month program, but it will change your life forever. I said, nah. 18 months. She said, yeah, but it's in Devon. I was like, Devon. She said, yeah, but it's worth the risk. And I'll take that risk and get the funding for you to go. It's called the TC, Therapy Community. And I thought, ooh. She goes, it's hard. It's not easy though. It's hard. You'll get sanctions. You'll go into groups. You get encounters, all this kind of stuff. I was like, what's all that? Anyway, I thought, you know what? I've got to give it a try. And basically, I went court. I got sentenced. And most of the time I got sentenced, I could be angry. But I wasn't. I just knew that my time to like change properly. And I also believed that I could change in prison. That most people change outside, but I believed I could change in prison. And off I went to Devon, to this program, TC. And the funny thing is that many other rehabs are very similar. And the ethos of it, the daily reading, you got to do a daily reading, big on the wall. Everybody's got to do it. 65 inmates. 65 inmates pulling you up for like running to the gym in front of someone, pushing in lines. Walking with your jeans down your butty because you think you're a rude boy, that kind of thing. Like, and what happens is you don't realise you're doing it, and you're drinking a cup of tea on the landing. It says, do not drink tea on this landing, or cups on this landing. But you don't know you're doing it. And you'll sit down at 5 p.m, which is called the evening meeting. Jason, stand up. What? I start. At 5 p.m, you're drinking tea on the landing, 100 words. What? 100 words? What? I'm breaking rules. I was like, oh my God, man. So then I'll run to the gym in the morning because I want to go gym. And I grabbed all the weights, about 10 different weights, which I just didn't need. I just grabbed all these weights because I'm the man. So everybody else is the man. So you start arguing with someone. Go back to the meeting, 5 o'clock. Jason, at 6 a.m. in the morning, you run and intimidate the inmate. And intimidation, aggressive behavior, 1,000 words on intimidating, aggressive behavior, where it can get in the future. Like, what? My God. So I go to my cell and write 1,000 words on intimidation and intimidating behavior, where it could get me in the future. Because if I'd done that in McDonald's or a gym out here, I could end up rolling around with somebody back in prison, back in where I don't want to go. So basically, I done that for 18 months. And it was so dramatic. A weight lifted off me. I wasn't that same person. I wasn't that same man. I became a man. On that program, I actually became a man. And strange enough, like I said, when I was doing that other stuff, I became lacked as a barber, yeah. But this time I became lacked as a recovery advocate. I got called a recovery advocate. And they made me a mentor. Then the governor, the actual governor, asked me, can I work under him? Like, I was a diversity orderly. I was like, oh my, what the hell is that? So I used to go to his meetings with the prison governor. Off I went, get my little book, write it down, like the minutes and stuff of meetings and stuff like that. And I thought, whoa, my life, I can change. Like, although I was in prison, I was doing things that only red bands get. Like, when you're really well behaved in prison, you get best jobs. And I had top jobs, and I worked in the clothing store, moving all the clothes to different wings on my little part. And I was freedom, like, I had my own like key to open certain doors. I was like, wow, like, I watched proper life has changed. I got given DCAT for the first time. Like, I had DCAT when I was very young, but all the other times I couldn't get it because I was a risk to the society. I was a risk to myself. The governor said, I believe you can use your tools in DCAT and see if they work. The governor said that. I was like, wow. And I went to the DCAT. When I was in the DCAT, I became a prison mentor to other prisoners, yeah? So I became a mentor. I was very, very motivated. They said to me, Jason, would you like to work in a recovery advocate in Aylesbury? I said, what's that? He said, basically, you go to like a dip center, drug intervention program, and you mentor the people that are coming in. I said, yeah, but that's actually outside. Yeah, community service. So off I went to Aylesbury and I started to do that. I started to realize that, wow, I can help these people. I was outside in the prison, in the community, behaving. I wasn't taking drugs. You know, like my head held high. Lots of people looked up to me. I used to go to the gym a hell of a lot, put a lot of weight on. I felt good within myself. But the thing was, still had fear in me. Will I go back to prison? When I get released, will I commit a crime? Like, that's the main thing I didn't want to do. I believed I knew I wouldn't pick up drugs again, but will I ever commit a crime? Will I lose my temper with someone? You know, they were the main things I was concerned about. Because that course I went and done, program was a behavior program, because a lot of our behaviors keep us in that madness. So when I was in that prison, we used to come to all different areas: Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire, Berkshire, all these areas I didn't even know existed before. And then my geography got better. When you're in prison, you become a guy that knows geography. You got this little book, and you know geography, you know everywhere. It becomes like that. And friend said, you should live in Oxford. Yeah, I'm gonna live in Oxford, because I remember probation service wanted to send me to Clacton and Margate, and I was like, I can't go live there. That's like benefit Britain. They really wanted to send me there, but I thought, if I go there, it's gonna be very hard for me. Like, I don't want to make it things a bit easier. And if I went to Oxford, I went and lived in a charity up the road, and they helped me a hell of a lot. Funny enough, I work for that charity now as a key worker. And what I've done and what I've achieved so far is amazing within myself, to believe that I've lasted this long, sober and clean. It's coming up 14 years, so 14 years in a couple of months. It'll be 14 years for me. That's marvelous, and that's a great goal, and it's a great achievement, and it's great to develop and give someone else that hope, you know, because I believe in hope, faith, and courage. With self, it's all about looking on the inside. How do I cope with society? How do I approach this person? How do I talk to this person in the right manner? How do I get up in the morning and look in the mirror and tell myself I am worth it? So self for me, it's self, it's internally. Over the years, I've met a lot of people, and a lot of older people, young people, whoever. So you can learn something from any age. But I remember when I was in prison, I met some good people, and sometimes I met these people and they had a lot of wisdom, a hell of a lot of wisdom. And when you're young, you don't really take it in, or you don't think you take it in. And many years ago, I had this cellmate, and his son was like well known, and well liked, but well known basically for kind of being like a gangster or anything. But anyway, I was in his dad with my cellmate. So anything come out of his mouth, I kind of used to listen, because I wanted to listen. I remember he had this big bed, this big bed. He's like, he used to walk around in a certain way, and I used to look up to him and think, rah, because I knew who his son was. Anyway, he sat down with me one day and he said, Jason, man. I said, yeah. He said, you need to fix your life, man, because you're not dead or something. I said, what are you about? He said, let me sit down for a minute. And I said, well, and I sat down. He said, Jason, I'll tell you something, yeah? If you live like you live in prison, outside of prison, you'll never come back to prison. And at first, I thought, is this mad? What's he on about? He said, if you live like you live in prison, outside of prison, you never come back to prison. Think about it. So I thought about it for a few moments, and I said, what do you mean? He said, listen, you're clean shaven. You go to the gym. Yes or no? I said, yeah, I do. He said, you got a job. Could you get prison jobs? Yes, I do. You budget your money. Yes, you do. What? Yeah, of course I do. You look after yourself, you iron your clothes. Yeah? You get your visits, you go, you pull out to your mum, pull out to your family. Yes? He said, you don't take drugs much. You're kind of stable. Yeah? He said, also, you're not rude to the prison officers. Why are you not rude to them? Because you're going to get like sanctioned, or you're going to get in trouble. Exactly. He said, like, everything you do in prison is a positive. If you live like you live in prison, outside of prison, you never go back to prison. And then I thought about it for a moment. I thought, right, these guys are right, you know. But basically, that didn't kick in until I went to rehab. And I remember that saying. I thought, he's so right. Like, because if you live like you live in prison, outside of prison, you never come back to prison. Because one, now I'm out of prison, I go to the gym. I look after myself. I budget my money, because if I don't budget my money, I can't afford a month. When you're in that madness of addiction, or say like a younger way of thinking, you don't think about all these things. But some of the wisdom that I got given over the years is just so strong, you know. And I use that now when I talk to people. I tell them that saying. I tell them that story that he told me, because it's just one of those stories you don't really hear. It's one of the things you don't really hear that much, but it's so relevant of today. I'm a homeless support worker, so I work in the homeless sector, helping people that are homeless, by rehousing them, giving them a bit of hope, bit of motivation. I'm dealing with people emotionally, because it's their emotions. It's their house where they live, and I work there. So I help them. I've been doing that line of work for almost 9 years, I believe. I've worked in different places. I've learned different things from different places. I enjoy the work that I do. I love the work that I do. I'm also a boxing coach in a boxing club called South Morton. I'm a boxer. I box up and down the country. I've got contests next week. I'm almost 45, so I'll keep going. I'm not stopping until I know I need to stop. One of my hopes is obviously to work in a rehab. Yeah, to work in a rehab. Another goal of mine is to have my own boxing club, where it's not exactly a club, but you call it, if you got a boxing community, say. So rather than I call it club, because I will call it a community. So if you're a boxing community and you're training people in a facility, in the community centre, that's one of my hopes that's going to happen. Because you can only make it happen by putting that work in. And I've put a lot of work in the last years and so. So that's going to happen. It's just me writing down everything and having it cemented, and that's going to happen. Because I know it is. Because when I got clean, I knew I'm going to get clean. I knew I was not going to pick up again. Because it's like I said, it's that light bulb moment, that light switch happens, and things are going to happen. So my hopes are that I am going to be a rehab worker, maybe one day in a rehab. You could obviously dream to be a manager, that kind of things. But then there's other parts of that where I've known managers, and I thought, ooh, I don't really want to do too much paperwork, you know, because a lot of managers do paperwork. So, but when you're a rehab worker, you're working with the people more. You're more engaging with them, and you give them a bit of that hope. And with the boxing, I love seeing a kid come from a little kid, shy, not knowing what to do until. So yesterday, funny enough, there was a profile picture of somebody. This kid, his dad, well, two kids and their dad. Them two kids I've helped develop in boxing, yeah? And now they are some strong, really good children that can obviously look after themselves. But when I teach boxing with them, do not take this to your playground. Do not show no one else this stuff. It's only for sport. It's a sport. It's sport entertainment. But I've seen them grow and I've seen them develop. And his football manager said to me, you know, he since he's been boxing, man, his attitude's changed so much. He's become so like cool, chilled, everything, that kind of thing. Seeing an adult come to prison to the boxing club, do some boxing with me, enjoy it, develop, learn skills. I've got one of my friends that I've been boxing with for a while now. He's had a fight. He's developed. He's been doing training with me for over 2.5 years. So like I said, my dream is to have my own club or own boxing community, like I said, and maybe deliver some recovery stuff to them, because a lot of people that are in recovery, boxing's a good way of developing and giving yourself a bit of structure. And a friend of mine, he's got his own charity doing a similar thing. But like I said, my dream is to have my boxing community teaching people's way of life, and obviously boxing as well. Sometimes you can see something in someone, like them prison officers saw something in me, people saw something in me, and I've seen it in other people myself, as a worker myself. And I said to them people, you can become somebody yourself, one day. And they looked up to me and said, what was it for me? Trust me, believe in yourself, you can become that person. And one day I was opening someone's door. I wish I could do what you do, Jay. Trust me, you can. Many years later, guess what? That person does that job. Like, this is the joy of, it's a ripple effect. You chuck a stone in the water and it ripples, So this recovery is a ripple effect. Somebody helps somebody and somebody helps somebody. In another recovery, say, there was a thing called sponsor, right? And I laugh here because a sponsor's got a sponsor and the sponsor's got a sponsor. I feel sorry for the person and the first sponsor because he's got like thousands of sponsees, But I don't know where to go with that. But it's like I always think about that. Who's the sponsor? But it's like I said, it's a ripple effect, and people encourage people. And over the years, I've met a very substantial amount of good people. All my friends. I've climbed Snowdonia. I've gone to Devon on holidays. I do a lot of walking. I box. I'm a boxing coach. I've boxed up and down the country. I've got friends in all different areas. I go carnival. I don't drink when I go carnival. I like my West Indian food. I like having fun. Every Thursday I cook for the homeless, I feed the homeless, outreach, conversations. Life today is marvelous, and it's by putting in that work, because they say you're worth it if you work it, yeah? And I've worked it, and I know that I'm worth it, and it's an inside job because it comes from internally. So anytime somebody wants to change, look in the mirror and tell yourself you are worth it, because you are. It's like there's a lot of life outside. So once somebody's low, I've got a saying. It's called "you done know." So basically, it means you do know, and it's a West Indian culture saying, but it's something that I say all the time. So whenever I write something, I write "you done know," because I do know, and I know people do know also that they can do this. So "you done know" means it's a positive saying with you can do this. There is another way. There is another life. There is another corner you can turn, and you don't have to be stuck in that situation no more, basically.